What's up? Welcome to another episode of Concrete Reality TV, where we strive to know more and do more with what we know. Hey, we got a special guest coming in. He's an entrepreneur, local business owner. We're going to jump on it and have a great discussion with him about his trials and tribulations of being a business owner. But before I do that, I'm going to play our intro. So let's get it cracking with Concrete Reality TV.
Concrete Reality.
Hey, what's up? So I got my co-host on the show. What's up, Miss Danelle, the author? What's happening with you today?
Hey, everybody. Glad to be back.
Cool Cutter, what up, though?
You already know amongst those who know better, so we do better. So let's get it.
Yes, sir. We got that boy Gillum, Divine Leaf in the house.
What's up, y'all? Good to be back.
And then, of course, we got our guest of honor. We welcome Mr. James Lewis, the owner and founder of YBass. Let's give him an applause. Welcome to the show, brother. Man, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. We got a lot of questions. We're going to dig into how you got started with this thing.
Okay.
That's what's up. So let's go and jump on it, man. So this company you got, we noticed it got some nice followers. You got you got your website up and running. And it seems like that your business has grown really well since when you first started it off as an idea. What made you get into it?
So essentially car audio is what I do, and from doing car audio, social media platforms for car when I go to car shows, all that good stuff, just the ins and outs.
Breakup.
Yeah.
I'm getting a breakup. I'm not hearing what you're saying clearly.
Yeah, I think you fading your microphone, maybe distorting or something.
Can you hear me?
Yep,
yeah,
now I
hear you,
can.
but you're going in and out.
It's still in and out?
Yep. You got earpiece?
Yes.
It might work better with your earpiece.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right.
And then while you do that, I'm going to show your website so folks can know where to purchase some pro audio equipment. YBass. So this is YBassworld.com. He's selling speakers, amps, speaker wires, other accessories. If you want to grab some, you need to check out YBassworld.com.
Can y'all hear me better?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's better.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so we're going to try it again. We're going to start again so the viewers can hear your history, how you got started on this thing. So you can start again.
Gotcha. All right. So pretty much it just all started off with just a love for car audio. I've been in car audio since I was in high school. So starting from high school, hanging out with friends, trying to install bass and speakers in my car and in their cars. Pretty much we just went from there. It's something that I've been around for a while. So as I've gotten older and stayed into car audio from doing internships at car audio stores and install shops and stuff like that, just kind of kept going on with that, I guess, passion, you would say, but staying on the scene of car audio by going to shows. I've been attending shows and whatnot since like 2008. So been a part of the car audio scene, car shows, all that good stuff since then. And then when the social media thing happened, that's kind of what I guess kicked it off the most. Sharing people's bills, what they have coming up, what they're purchasing, giving everybody that shine for what they do. And I go to a lot of car shows across the country, so I'll be in California, Vegas, Texas, places in Houston, car shows, Dallas, and also down here, down south,
Yes.
Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina,
So you
and
hit up
Florida.
basically, you go to different car shows, and I notice on your page you'll document all of these different, car bills, and then showcase them. I see them, pretty much blowing hair with the speakers and blowing out windows and stuff like that. How in the world do you handle all that sound without tearing up your eardrums?
That's a good question. So I don't know yet. We still trying to figure that out.
What's the long-term effects on this?
Right.
And it's funny because it's people when you get to the car shows that are in their 60s that still have crazy bills, and they've been doing it for years, so they've been on the scene way before I even started. So
Wow.
yeah, I it's one of those acquired tastes. So either you can handle it and enjoy it, or you can't, and it's just like too much. But I guess it's just more of an adrenaline factor at that point. But I'm able to sit in the vehicles and hear, the bass or feel the bass, and if they're mids and highs or sounding right, I can differentiate between everything that's going on.
Right. So I gotta dig deep. Let's go back to the beginning, because this
Yeah.
is important to me, especially for music lovers, sound lovers. What was it that made you fall in love? First of all, we already know the car audio systems itself. The graduation of it began, I think, in the 80s, maybe early 80s, when everybody was or started to begin getting infatuated with the sound system of the car, the aftermarket speakers, the subs, the tweeters, the sound itself. What made you fall in love with that? Whose car system did you hear that just
Okay,
made
so
you?
that's the easy one.
Yeah.
His name was Kalen Beavers. He was the owner of Auto Trends in Cartersville, Georgia, and he used to have a Nissan. It was a hatchback, and I don't remember the exact model, but it was an older hatchback that he had, and he had like 4 Rockford Fosgate Power HX2s in it, and he had like 1,000 watt amps on each one. Back in the day, it was crazy, but you could hear him coming from like a block away or more. But yeah, then he'd pull up and showcase it and all the other stuff, and I was like, yeah, I got to do the same thing. So he used to do work out of his garage at his house. So we'd all come over after high school. It'd be like a hangout spot and kind of watch him and ask questions, pick his brain on stuff that he was doing, because he was actually going to car shows and competing and doing stuff and bringing home trophies way back then. So I figured he knew what he was doing, and we would see what he was building and all that good stuff. So we just kind of hung out and went from there. But it's one of me and one of my good friends who helps me do what I do now. His name's Fran. But yeah, we kind of hung out a lot with him. So that's where we got our start.
Became infatuated with the whole sound systems and how to hook it up and everything like that. What was your, when did you really get into, did you get into the install part as well, building closures and all that stuff in the beginning?
So, and not in the beginning. I didn't really get into that too hard. I was more of trying to fix my stuff, and I was one of those that had fails hooking it up where I ran my power wire wrong.
You ain't
all
burned
that
the
stuff
car up or nothing, did you?
You said what?
You ain't have a car fire or nothing like
No,
that.
no. It didn't get that bad, but
exposed wires and shit.
No exposed wires.
Wait, now, hold up, man, hold up, James. We got to interject this because that's a personal stab and it's still a sore wound. And I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna just real briefly, my little naive self.
I remember the car catching on fire. I remember that. I've seen it. Yes.
I had a 2000 Ford SVT Contour. It was black, fully loaded in leather and everything. And
I had the hell too.
Yeah, and I had I put 2 12s in the back, a little amp, and then Hard Times came. So I end up I end up having to pawn my speakers.
Yep.
So I pawned my speakers, but when I dropped off the speakers, I did something very stupid. You know, hindsight is 2020. I didn't understand at the time, but I left the ground wire uncovered in the back in the trunk, and then I left my crowbar, you know, my lug wrench rather, in the trunk, and it slid across the trunk and then started a spark that went through the ground wire up to the battery. Battery blew up and the front end caught on fire. I'm driving down the highway and then the car just starts smoking, and then I had to pull over because I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then before I knew it, the whole front end was on fire. Everybody stopping, you know, they come. By that time, it's over. So the whole car got totaled. I was like, oh man. And then when they told me what the problem of the fire was, it was because of that. And I was like, oh my God, all I had to do was put some damn tape, electrical tape on the damn ground wire, and I would have been just like that. So yeah, that's what he was stabbing me with, because I didn't know nothing about any of that. I just knew system, bass, turn up, loud. There we go.
That's pretty much most people need to know anyway, because you know most people don't put it in themselves. They go to a shop or
he just prevented somebody from doing that.
Right.
Exactly. Somebody
it's called a learning experience.
Exactly.
Yes.
When I take my speakers to Easy Pun and my amp and all that, even though they don't take our car audio anymore, but when I go sell it to the dude on eBay, I need to unhook all this.
Cover your ground wires. You got to close them ground wires up.
Take that electrical tape and wrap it up.
Wrap it up safe.
Yeah. And if you don't plan on using it again, just take it out.
There you go. What you say, Danielle?
When I had my first car, it was a small car. It was a Toyota Tercel. And they said, I called myself trying to put some speakers in the back of my car. But I was a baby. That was the most unrealistic thing I could have ever done. There was no room
you couldn't even turn it up loud if you wanted to.
I was scared myself while I was driving down the street, depending on what sound came out the speaker. I'd be like, no, I got to turn that down. You can't listen to different kind of music with that kind of surround sound and stuff like that. You'd be done thought somebody started shooting at you or something. How did you turn your passion into your business?
So essentially, from going to car shows and meeting everyone in the industry, and building that friendship, I ended up having the social media aspect of it, where I was doing Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and a lot of people were having me do promo codes. So, you know, if you go to this website, you use code YBass, you'll save on your purchase at checkout. So as I was doing it, I was like, well, I've been doing it for a minute. I'd rather see what I can do on my own, you know, and see if I can actually turn my following into business itself. And so far it's been a successful journey. But that's what essentially got me to doing it was that just to see if I did it on my own, what I could turn it into, and see how it changes and grows as a business, and just do it from there. But that's how I turned my passion into business.
Wait, so what came first? Did you start the venturing to different car shows and then grew a following from there, or did the business idea come before that?
So the business idea itself, like I've always wanted to do something car audio, like from being in high school with my friends and all that stuff back then. So we always wanted to do something of that nature. And I had even went to I had dibbled and dabbled and looking into like installation schools back in the day, all that good stuff. So I ended up interning at a couple of shops as I got older, and when I was in college and stuff, that actually helped me out and helped me learn a lot more of the behind the scenes stuff of installing stuff and doing it properly. I had fixed a few things in my vehicles over the years, and and that's how they all started and kept going. And then what you're saying as far as the business goes, I had the social media platform first, and I was going to shows anyway. So I was going to shows before the social media platform ever started. I was one of those late people to Instagram. So I've been going to shows, like I said, since 2008, and all over the states and all this stuff, just because over the years I grew friendships with different people. So going and hanging out with them at different shows and catching up. A lot of time I only see people that are in the audio industry, besides for talking to them online and interacting with them and with Facebook and Instagram, is at a show once a year or twice a year at shows. So it's more than just going to the car shows. It's the relationships that's built within going to the car shows itself.
Right.
So my question is, do you compete in competition with a YBass team?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So we're gonna have a YBass team coming. I'm working on that. So I'll have a YBass team that actually show up and be at shows, and they'll compete and give demos and all the other stuff. But at the moment, it's been myself and Fran. We both have dedicated vehicles. I have a 2011 Chevy Tahoe that's dedicated to sound. It's a 2-seater. So
of course.
Yeah. So the whole back is gutted, and it has nothing but subs, amps, batteries, all that good stuff, and speakers. Same thing. He has a Chevy Silverado truck, and he doesn't have a back seat. It's full of speakers. So we go to shows, post up. We're vendors at shows, sell stuff, hang out with people, and then I like to showcase what other people are doing. I've had my vehicle, and it's been around at shows for years, but I like to show off everybody else what they're doing, and that's just kind of how I started. So looking at everybody else stuff, getting in people's vehicles, hearing what they like as far as sounds, because that's another thing too. When you get in other people's bills, they all sound different. So, and it's normally tailored to the way that they like to listen to their music. So that's always a fun experience in itself. So I just like to showcase that stuff off because people are passionate about it, and I am I guess grateful enough to have a big following online. So I like to show people off that either doesn't, or even if they do, just being seen and let my audience enjoy their setups as well.
That's what's up.
So what was that, Danielle?
How do you manage your social media like differently than just actually interacting? Because it seems like you kind of started out kind of interacting, making the personal relationships. How is it different with how you interact and promote with your social media following?
So I mean, I run all my social media. I kind of do all that stuff on a daily basis. I have another friend of mine that helps out. So everything I've done, I've like had help along the way. It hasn't just been me, but I have another friend that's helped with some of the visuals and content as well for the YouTube channel, the introduction, my intros that run music, my YBass music, and that's I am James Lewis. So he's an artist and videographer that also helps, and he's the one that showed me how to film and do everything that I do now. So I can do everything from my iPhone, or I can pick up a camera and go get whatever I need to do with that, just from what he's shown me over the years. But essentially I do it daily. I post daily, I comment, I'm responding to people's messages when they're
to build a personal relationship then.
Yes. So that's been my way of doing it. It's more of a personal relationship. And I talk to people all over the world. I have a lot of people that I talk to in Russia and in Finland, Denmark. Like it's crazy. Argentina. But we get people from all over the world, and that's what the social media allows. So it allows you to and that's another part of it. So, I don't go to car shows in other countries, but people will send me videos of their vehicle so other people can see it.
Dang, that's what I was going to
And
ask you. If they do
so
that
that's
around the world,
they do it around the world, and
that's
that's something
crazy.
else that's crazy too, because it's like, man, like I'm in audio and I'm here in the States, but it's worldwide, and it's
I did not know that.
Show.
yeah. So that everybody's having car shows and all that good stuff. So again, like I love just seeing it all and interacting with people and seeing what they like. We have like the behind the scenes conversations, so they'll tell me what they're working on, what they're planning. They may ask for feedback. They show pictures, and a lot of times I'll get to see stuff before other people see it, just because they'll send me sneak peeks and builds and stuff that'll be coming out in 6 months or the next 3 months, whatever that they're working on. And it's kind of cool to see and just talk to people, and especially from all over the globe.
Dang, so they bumping in Finland.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Car culture has just translated to everybody.
Definitely.
And the islands too, like Trinidad.
Yeah. I would imagine.
Yeah, they get busy everywhere. Jamaica, like like I'm getting all of that and seeing all of it, and it's crazy. But it's just like going to a car show here. They put their spin on it, and each country they like different things. So it's just different.
So
who would have thought the low frequency of a sound would be so important,
so popular like that?
Now that's what we love. So
that's crazy. I never knew that it was that big. And actually, when I started following you, and your YBass page started blowing up, I don't think I've ever seen people documenting the way you do, documenting the shows like that. I've never seen that. That was the first time I actually seen people actually documenting those car shows like that for the sound, the way you're doing.
So and I wasn't the first to do it, like like on YouTube, like over the years, like also that helped me get into car audio or further my passion for it is like someone like Steve Mead. He's out in Sacramento, but he used to have a forum. So he had a forum back in the day. So when I was in college, we'd get on the forum and people would be posting up pictures, and he would go to car shows, out west. But that's one of those that kind of kept me into it over the years. And there's other YouTubers and all the other stuff that go to car shows and they document when they go to as well. So I just kind of put my spin on it and my channel is changing. I have other stuff that I'm working on as well. So I'll bring different elements to what other people do as well.
Right.
How'd you come up with the name?
So we were going to do YBass, just WHY and bass with a question mark. And then it was like, instead of it being 2 words, let's just chop it off and just do Y, like YBass. And then that was it. And that was with me and James Lewis that we were talking and going back and forth.
Dang.
He was like, instead of saying, because YBass, I was like, I like it, like, because that's why. Every time you go to a car show or you're showing off what we do to people that are not familiar with it, they're like, why do you like that? They're like, you like sitting in the car and having the windshield blown out, or your hair flying out the window. Why? So that's what I was like. That's the question I always get. It's like, why do you go to car shows, and why do you have such a loud stereo system? So I was like, I'm gonna do it YBass, and he was like, just chop it and just put the letter and then bass, and then that's how we did it.
Dang, that's the name.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect. That's probably what I asked you, because the first time I was like, why the hell are you doing all that?
Yeah, you've been in one of my rides.
Yeah, I was like, why in the world would you want to listen to music like this? This is hurtful.
Why? Well, in the Texas culture, well, I'm sorry, I haven't asked where you were from or anything like that. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Atlanta, Atlanta, Georgia. So Yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
With the Texas culture of what we call slabs.
Yeah.
Slabs are basically, for those who don't know, are old school, normally old school cars, Cadillacs, Oldsmobiles, Buicks, that we deck pretty much gut out and make a whole new car with it. And now what they do now is put 84 Cadillac Vogues, Tires Vogues on rims, but now they call them super pokers, which what they call elbows.
Exactly.
Which are spoke rims that poke out maybe about 2 feet, damn near. And you better just don't drive next to one. That's why they drive and they take up one lane. But they known to have these elaborate systems with crazy subwoofers back in the back, sound systems in the front,
neon lights.
They go overboard. Some dudes but it's all about more of the visual plus sound, because they have their, some people just go elaborate with the enclosures, leather, snake skin, different colors, spray paint, all kinds of stuff with those builds. It's just crazy. Did you get into that any type of way?
So no, I didn't personally. I didn't have a vehicle like that. So I wanted to get as much as I could out of my sound system. So I went with the Tahoe, because that was for us the traditional vehicle that you saw a lot of at car shows back then. And it's like, hey, it's got a lot of room. You can take it out and take seats out and add speakers and add a lot of them.
The more speakers, the better.
If you're in a car, it's coming out the truck. So, or now they're putting walls in cars. So I just wanted to have more airspace, and that way, so I can run more speakers, and in theory, be louder.
Yeah, the louder the better, the more the better.
Well, it depends on who you talk to. So, I think right now in the car audio bass scene, like the low notes are king right now. So that low bass, that low frequency. So the louder you are at a lower frequency is what's king right now.
Yep, I remember those. P, what you got?
Oh, Danelle asked a question, or I think you had made a statement before Cutter.
Me?
I didn't know if you had a question before Cutter said something.
No, at first, before Cutter came in, he was talking about how his title came up with YBass, because everybody's first question was why, and I said I agree with you. It's an amazing title, because that was definitely my first question.
Like, what in the world?
Why in the world would somebody want to do something like this?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Actually, I don't usually go out. And so I know this has nothing compared to the bass that you guys have in this compact enclosed vehicle. So I went out with my sister just to have a good time, and we were sitting close to the DJ. And I wanted to get out of there just because every time the bass dropped, I saw vibrations in my glass, my heart was beating. Like, I couldn't imagine sitting in a vehicle where my hair is out the window, like, what?
So it's one of those experiences where you probably wouldn't like it, but you at least have to do it just once. So it's like, let me hear this. Let me see what all the fuss is about.
It's like thinking about it scientifically.
It's like a science project. Yeah, like a science project.
And then you have to ask yourself, has anybody really went deaf because of music?
Not that I know of.
No,
but it's a lot of us out here.
I think as you grow older, your hearing it varies. It varies.
Do you have a preference from new cars versus classics?
So as far as now, I like going to car shows and like the true car shows where it's not really a lot of bass there, but it's more on display. So like you'll have like those big car shows. I'm trying to think like here, like in Atlanta, like the V103 car show or something like that. Or like SEMA's big in Vegas. Like they're now adding bass to it, but at the shows like that where you have a mixture of everything. So I appreciate everything. So, you know, you see wild stuff. So I like the trucks, lifted trucks, the big tires. I like old school cars. If the paint job is nice and the rims look good on it, I definitely appreciate that. I even like the muscle cars. Nice engines, big blocks in them. So I like a little bit of everything. But as far as like car audio goes, I would say definitely something with space, a SUV, preferably a Chevy, Suburban, Tahoe. And then if it's something bigger than that, then you know you move over. I've enjoyed the builds that like in Hummers and Excursions. I have a couple friends that have Excursions, and that's a tank.
A lot
so
of space.
A lot of space, and you can get creative and all that good stuff. And believe it or not, people make there's a vehicle that's out there that they added pieces to it, and it's called the demo limo. So it's like two Suburbans put together, and it's like really long, and it's full of speakers, full of subs. So
wow,
like I said, they do custom stuff all out. And that I always get a demo of that build in particular at Tennessee shows, and some in North Carolina when they come to that. I don't know exactly where they're from. I believe they live in North Carolina, but I see the demo limo a lot in Tennessee and in North Carolina shows. So yeah, that it gets crazy.
I was just gonna ask you what was probably the most elaborate setup you've seen or build you've seen, and you just explained it. 2 limos.
It's like two Chevy Suburbans that was like slapped together.
That's crazy. That's a lot of sound.
Yeah,
that's a lot of sound.
So it has like two middle seats.
Somebody should be deaf right now. All that speakers in there. Somebody,
right?
Man, that doesn't make any damn sense. That's a lot of noise. A lot of noise.
That is. That's a lot.
That'll make your heart palpitate.
So
with you in this.
What'd you say, Mel?
I said, wait a minute. I'm actually agreeing with Gillum. That never happened.
We still can hear.
Look, we got it. We got it recorded. So look, we got it recorded. You know.
But yeah, elaborate system. There's a lot out there. When people start like asking that, I normally go with like some of the first things that just come to mind, just because. And a lot of them I see more than others. Mm-hmm. So it's more of a recency bias also. But there's one out there I know of, like off the top of my head, like Ground Pound. It's a guy named Chris Allen. He has a very elaborate setup. So it's an Excursion. It's lifted. It's has a vehicle wrap on it, but it's like a 360 of speakers. So the back glass comes out, and no matter what side you're standing on, you can hear it. He has bass coming out of the rear. He has bass in the front. So it's a true like experience as far as that goes. And then another one, some other ones, Sky High Truck. There's a guy named John, owner of that. JP is a guy that owner of Down for Sound. He has one of the staple vehicles in car audio, and Jay Jones, Joker. He has a elaborate build as well. So all of it, it's a lot out there. It's a lot.
Okay, so my question is, what kind of prizes they give away at these shows when you win, or is it just for bragging rights?
That's good.
It's mainly for bragging. You win trophies, but it's mainly for bragging rights, or just to come out and just be a part of the culture and just put your spin on it, because a lot of the vehicles are themed too. So you'll have, like I said, Joker. He has like a themed Joker vehicle based off of like Batman Joker. So his custom paint, custom interior, The color scheme is with the character. Ground pound, same thing. It's the red and black build that has everything that matches, and it's nice. So yeah,
You got
we get bragging rights.
What's crazy?
So we spending hundreds and thousands of dollars for bragging rights. Gotcha.
Yes.
For OG. I recently came across one of my homegirls who compete in slingshot competitions.
Yeah.
And she has a slingshot that she had purchased some years back. And over the last maybe 2 years, man, I've seen this girl put so much money into the slingshot with sound system. I'm talking about paint job, lights everywhere, rims. Like, she has really put into this slingshot, and she's winning competitions everywhere. It's really a culture. It's a culture, bro. You know what I mean? And when I went to one, my last visit to Houston, actually, I met up with her, and I think we were in Baton Rouge, and I had a competition up there. And man, these dudes, they put a lot of money into these slingshots, man. This one dude had one. Speaking of themes, what you were talking about, he had one called Megatron. And it was a 2-seater like Shaq's. It was a 4-seater, long. This dude had speakers everywhere, 2 subs, in the back enclosure, and speakers coming out the side and the back. It was crazy.
Dog, the slingshot is not that big, dog.
Dude, this dude had speakers everywhere.
So I have a question for you. Actually, I have 2 questions. What would you say is the biggest misconception of customers that come in to get speakers or a sound system from you? And then the second question is, what would you recommend for someone that was trying to go into entrepreneurship, like whether it be your kind of business or just venturing out into their own business? Is it different with your type of business versus what you would recommend someone going into something else? Or is it pretty much the same?
Okay. All right. So the first one, all right. So because I heard both of them, and I'm gonna answer them. So the first one, tell me one more time.
So the first one was
the customers. Right, the customers. The first one, right? First part of that.
What is the biggest misconception that you think customers have coming in?
Well, a lot of people will try to do it themselves, and they get frustrated because you go to car shows and you'll hear people's bills, and a lot of times when you go to shows and a lot of the louder people that have bills, they've built boxes over the years, they've done enclosures and sound systems for years. So you'll get in somebody's vehicle, or mine is built by somebody that has experience. A guy here that's local named Zach Pope, but he's been building vehicles for years, for like 20 years. So it's just it's one of those misconceptions where, like, you hear something and then you try to go home and imitate it, and then sometimes it doesn't meet those expectations of what you want, and then you just get frustrated and just try to cut corners and all the other stuff, and end up falling out of the hobby or putting more pressure on yourself than needs to be. But and then I would say that's maybe one end of it. Another end is, people hear it, or my build it, for an example, and it's really loud, so they automatically think that what they need or what they have to have has to be loud just like that. So I mean, we all started somewhere. So I started with 1 10-inch subwoofer in my trunk, and I thought it was the best thing ever. and you couldn't hear it once the door closed. Like when you were inside, you could hear the bass. When my trunk wasn't rattling, like nothing like that. We would get out. I remember being at gas stations like the Quick Trip, and we'd get out and be like, man, you can't even hear the bass outside, but inside it's loud. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Like it's kind of just a little bit of everything. It's just or maybe from an outside point of view, is you think you have to spend a lot of money to be loud. We can get you loud with under $1,000, and loud is obviously it's a perspective, I guess.
Yeah, subjective. Yeah,
it's subjective.
I'm more of a quality sound type of dude. I prefer the quality of the sound when I'm inside of my vehicle. I would definitely, like with different vehicles, I'm pretty sure you would dedicate a different perspective, because you like, okay, this is my competition vehicle. I don't want this vehicle to be more loud. I want this vehicle to be more loud than it is quality sound. So I guess
and that's where a lot of people also too, like in the bass world, like there's a certain point where you can build a pretty vehicle loud and all the other stuff, but at a certain point the bass is going to start tearing up the vehicle. So you can only be so loud and pretty and clean for so long before the more power and stuff you start adding to your vehicle starts tearing up your vehicle.
Start breaking windows.
Breaking windows, breaking dashboards, all that stuff. Firewalls. So you end up as you keep pursuing your passion for more bass, it's gonna cost you more. It's gonna end up making you change the interior of your vehicle to accommodate, because you can only repair so many windshields before you're like, after my 7th windshield, I don't know if I want to pay another $400, $250 to get somebody to put it in.
Basically, you don't want to be the dude driving down the street bumping, and then your damn engine would fall out the bottom.
No, you don't want to be that either.
It's like, damn.
I'm
bumping though. Y'all still hear me?
That's right. Hey, it don't matter. Hey, a lot of people pull up the shows and their cars they trailer their vehicles. They don't really run on the street. They just enough to run off of the trailer and back on the trailer, and they park it.
Serious?
Yeah, they park it and get to it. Play the bass, play the sound. Hey, drive it back on the trailer, and they have their daily vehicle or their truck or tow pig, whatever they call it, and they drive it to whatever location. But some bills are not. They're not. You can't drive them because they don't have seats. They don't have seat belts. They all still.
So they straight show cars. Show cars.
Yeah.
There's basically a show car.
Yep, that's what it is.
You can't drive
it.
For sure.
And in our case, they're competing. They're demoing so that it, like you said, it's a show car. But the competition side, I don't compete as much. I used to like to compete, but once I hit my personal goal a few years ago of 160 dB, 160 decibels on the meter, I just kind of started demoing after that, liking more of the demo aspect of shows. And that's more of what you see online for YouTube and all the other stuff is more of demos and the fun around. The competition stuff is fun too. It's just a different aspect of the car.
Right.
You had the set. You said what?
That's loud as hell.
It is. And the second part of your question was about if you had another company, would you?
Part of my question was what would you recommend for someone that's trying to be an entrepreneur themselves, whether it be in your industry or something else, starting their own business? Is there a difference in how you handle things in your industry and how someone else stepping into their own, would you give them different advice?
No, I would just say it's business at the end of the day. So a lot of how I got started, though, for me was the relationships I built within the car community. Or car audio community. So that kind of put me where I was at. These were years of relationships with different people. So I started YBass 2 years ago. But I've been, like I said, on the scene of like going to national car shows and all that good stuff since like 2008, 2009, and traveling and going to shows. Now I do it more frequently now than I used to, but you know, I've been around and talking to people, and like I said, it's just that helped me out more. But whatever, I would say, whatever anyone is doing, I mean, just do it. Just jump in and research, find out, why you got me why base, but why you're doing what you're doing. Make sure you know the purpose for whatever you're doing is there, and it's something that you would enjoy doing, because it does turn into a job at times. And like I know people say, you do your passion. You
gotta make
you won't work a day in your life, but I definitely love car audio, but doing that, and I do have a full-time job outside of that. So uh in my experience, I would say it turns into wearing many hats as you
Right.
as you start your company. So you got to be the person picking up the phone, the person responding to emails, the person going to get new business. But even if you have a team, or you're starting it with a group of individuals, you guys are still the ones that are doing that, and there's going to be someone that's going to be interacting with people, or going to get business, or like I said, responding to people, setting up stuff. So that's the thing I would say as far as anybody else doing this. It's still, I guess, the basics across the board is, now you got to have a social media presence, if you have a business. So do your social media. It builds you following based off of whatever you're doing.
Right.
And I mean, anybody can do whatever. Like car audio, restaurants, all the other stuff. There's plenty of restaurants out there. Everybody can cook, but there's a lot that goes along with it. So, everybody can jump in and do the same things, but there's certain things that set people apart. So whether it's the customer experience, or the customer service, just different things like that. Because, if you can cook, you can cook. But if you're rude to your customers, or your wait time is
You're gonna
outrageous,
lose.
you're gonna lose. So it's just that perfect balance.
Makes sense. Do you had mentioned with the business upstarting, are you able to? Does it take money to start the business, or can you go through I guess the government for assistance, or getting loans in that type of field? Is it easier or harder to try to get business loans in that field? What are the the experiences in that? Because most people, they say it's difficult.
Yes. So it is. You it's one of those until you start doing it, and there's always like red tape, red flags here and there of of things you can do. So starting it doesn't take much to start it, right? You can file for an LLC or whatever type of company you want, but outside of that, then it's the daily business. You can get a loan for products, but it won't be in your business, because your business isn't showing income, and it won't be in your business name. It'll be based off of personal. So if you're getting a loan for your business and it's in your personal, you got to think about that as also, because if you got to purchase machinery or product or anything that you need for your business, and it's in your name, if you got to make future moves with your credit for a car or a future home or any plans like that, your business is also tied up in that as well. So also there's the government backed loans, the SBA loan, but the SBA loan, you can apply for it, but they want collateral. They want something to tie you to that loan and that money.
They want something tangible. Yeah, they want something tangible.
Yeah, they want something to take from you.
Yeah,
right? So
they want tangible.
And then that they want part of your home. So even if you're taking out, 10,000, 15,000, 50,000, whatever, they want what you have, and they want to make sure you're going to pay them back. So it's just not as easy as going to get a loan. But then the other aspect of that is, if you go and get a business loan, they also want 2 years of tax returns. So if you're just starting up, you don't have 2 years of tax returns. So as we've heard this over the years, but they always say, businesses are made within or broken within the first 2 years. I can see why, just because it's a lot of stuff that you have to do in the first 2 years, not just money wise, but just everything in general. If you're starting a business, like it's all consuming. It's a lot. So, but yeah, it's just not as easy as everybody would make it out, and I could sit up here and be like, yeah, it's great and all this other stuff, but it's a struggle. It's a good struggle, but it's just you learn a lot about yourself, about if you want to keep doing it or not, and it's just just see where it takes you.
Dang, you just let out a whole bunch of information on that. I'm sure viewers will love that, especially young entrepreneurs that are trying to get grounded in the game as well in their different professions. You mentioned the different struggles trying to give birth to your intellectual property into some sort of tangible form.
Right.
You have family, right?
Yes.
How does that play into trying to get this vision off the ground to make sure everybody's on board? Is that hard to do, or is
it's real hard because I have kids, and kids have homework, and kids have to be played with and taken care of, and all of that good stuff. So yeah, it's rough balancing everything, and I edit my videos that I put out. I go to the car shows on the weekends, and all that stuff is time away from my family to pursue, a passion. So I'm assuming, like, if anybody else is doing anything business related on their own, they're gonna have to put in a lot of time. And if you have another gig or another side hustle, then you're gonna be splitting time with your main source of income, and then your secondary, or like you said, your dream and your aspirations. You got to put time into that too as well. So it's just it's a big balancing act. Having a kids, I have a wife, so I have to spend time with everybody. I have to do my responsibilities in life. So just trying to make it all work, and then of course, as it always works, you don't have enough time to do everything. So sometimes the ball gets dropped in certain places, and or you end up not being able to spend as much time where you would like to do it because you have other obligations.
Dang.
And that's just more of what part of life you're in. Because I have kids now, and I started this as I was older. I could have done it as I was younger, but I didn't. Social media wasn't a thing like it was when I was coming up, and just wasn't anything that I was into at that point in time. I was more of trying to get into the job field and make a name for myself in my profession. So just doing stuff like that, and I didn't care anything about anything else really. And I was single, so you end up being a single person out here doing whatever you can to, further your dreams and ambitions. And at that point in time, car audio wasn't a part of it. So.
You mentioned that you were married. How did your wife feel about you saying, "Hey, I want to gut my truck and turn it into a 2-seater, and then I want to start pushing, car audio as my my business"? Was she on board?
I mean, she was, but she thought I was crazy too. she was like, "You gonna do what?
YBass, okay. Baby, YBass."
Right. But it's one of those where it was my money, so she was okay with it, and it was something that I was actually working on before we had met. So the vehicle, so I had already had the Tahoe. I had a sound system in it. It just got a little bit more elaborate as the years have gone on. So, but yeah, she's been supportive. Definitely, it's one of those things that it's good to have the support in the background when you're doing anything that you want to have another give birth to something else that you're working on in your life. So it's good to have that support.
Definitely.
So yeah, it helps out a lot. and it keeps the arguments down. But yeah,
I'm sure.
Now I don't think I'll be doing anything else to my vehicle. If that helps answer your question.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, she right for now. And then if I make a ton of money doing what I do, then I might bring something else out. But it's one of those, what they call a rabbit hole, like a never ending rabbit hole.
Yeah, I
it
guess
never
that's
ends.
one of those. Yeah, that's definitely one of those things, like systems, the lifted trucks, all that. Trying to pimp your ride. I don't think it ever stops because there's always something new that you feel like you got to have to add on to your vehicle. So yeah, I get it.
Or you upgrade, you hit that next income level or whatever. You get a nice check coming in, and you're like, hey, I got a 6-inch lift. I'm gonna go ahead and get this 8-inch lift. Or I got 35-inch tires. Let me get the 40.
Exactly.
So that's just how it works.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I had a no wall setup, which was 218s. Then that's what E heard back in the day, and then now I have 615. So I've saved my money over the years and I've added to it.
So for anybody that's listening, where are you located? If they wanted to book with you or get some equipment from you, how would they reach out to you? Where are you located?
So I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
And are you actually working now, since you're saying you do have all of this responsibility?
So I work all the time. I work around the clock. I'm in. People can send me emails. It's info at YBass World. My website is ybasseworld.com. Yes, and then I saw that comment, Caffeine and Octane. I've actually been to that a couple times. It's a local show here in Atlanta. Right now it's at Town Center Mall, and they do it the first Sunday of every month. So yeah, first Sunday of every month they have a nice car show, and it's one of those shows where it's like a lot of different car shows. I mean, not a lot of different cars in one place. So you'll have Lamborghinis, the Jeeps, trucks, and then you'll have a sprinkling of people that do what I do, the demo vehicles as well, motorcycles. So that's something that if you're local, that it's nice to check out. But yeah, I've definitely been. But yeah, sorry, I saw that question coming up.
Yeah,
answering real quick. But what I think I got off of your question. Can you?
Well, no, I was just asking, because you have this responsibility, how are you really able to work? I know you say you have a team of people as well, but where are you located, and how can people actually get equipment from you?
So they would purchase the equipment through my website, which is ybasseworld.com. I have a little bit of everything on there. I'm thankful to have a lot of vendors that allow me to carry their stuff, companies, manufacturers, but it's a lot of popular for, I would say, my way in car audio. It's a lot of popular brands and all that good stuff that I carry. Also, I do sell some stuff that's not online that I'm dealer for, that if people are local or going to shows, they can hit me up. And so I give you an example. So like I carry DS18 online, Down for Sound, Sky High Car Audio, Limitless Lithium, McMahon. Like those are the brands that I carry online, but I also am a dealer for Sundown. So I don't sell that online, but locally, if anybody needs anything, they hit me up, and they can email, they can call. My phone number's on the website, or they can shoot me an email, and we can they can pick it up at a local show. And I do travel, so I take equipment with me. I've been known to do that before. I normally tow my vehicle around, so I have a truck. I can fill my truck up with product. I normally go to shows and sell stuff, so I can bring pretty much anything that I carry or people want. I can get it for them.
So my question is, when we coming out the YBass equipment, the speakers, the amps, when that's coming?
That would be a little bit later. I have my own YBass battery. Is powered by Limitless Lithium. So I have a 100 amp hour battery that I carry. That's the only thing as far as right now, besides merchandise, lanyards, stickers, shirts, that I have. I have some more merchandise coming, by the way. But I would say down the road, there's been some talks that I've had behind the scenes with different manufacturers that I'll have my own line of stuff coming out. But it'll be further down the road because you got to do a lot of testing, it won't be something that's just off the shelf and that I can present to people. It's gonna have to be something quality and definitely something that I can bring to the table and put my spin on it.
The before we close, I was going to share a video. Looks like you had posted just to give the viewers a little taste of the experience at one of the car shows that you were at. Hold on, let me play it. That one.
Yeah, just know that it's game time. And every city that I go, just know that it's game time.
Oh yeah.
Just know that it's game time. I got my new planet with me, just know that it's game time. Game time, game time, game time. Game time. Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Shae over here at Limitless Lithium. Don't forget to subscribe to YBass.
Hang in there, it's coming. So yeah, this right here is he's babysitting his bass knob. He's giving her a demo, but he's not giving it all the way. You'll see when he turns it up, you'll see her facial expression. It'll change. The hair start moving.
Ooh.
There you go. So everything is shaking inside, vibrating.
That's
everything.
crazy. Man.
Dash shaking. See, most people be done jumped out of the vehicle by now.
Exactly. So
what kind of car is that? That big ass car got all that bass in it.
That was a Scion X8.
Look like a Chevy Colt.
Yeah, so it's a little car, and he got 415s in it, and then in the back side of that is filled with speakers like out the hatch. So yeah, that's what I said. They get a real elaborate with these systems. They're loud, all that good stuff. So yeah, no, that's one of the things that I love about the car shows is just you get there and you just see what people have worked on, and a lot of these people they don't. I have a business, so a lot of these people just do it for fun. They pull their cars in their garage and they're working on them. They come home after working and they work on their vehicles as well. And that's their passion. So that's why I like showing off what other people are doing, just because they get some recognition for their hard work.
Dang. Danielle, you want to get your hair all over the place like that in the vehicle?
Absolutely not. I'm gonna go ahead and hear from you on the side. I'm gonna just stay here.
Where are you from?
I'm from Cali now, living in Georgia.
Okay. Oh, so you do live in Georgia now?
I do.
Oh, okay. I'll pull up on you.
But I don't want my hair long like hers because that ain't cute. The next day.
Yeah, you ain't gonna hear nothing.
No.
or man,
you'll feel it.
Listen,
what'd you say?
Listen, I'm gonna be in there with the patients the next day saying, "What you say?"
I can't hear nothing.
That little John, what?
But I do want to hear it though, so pull up on me the next time you're in Georgia.
No, I'm here. I'm local, so we're good. So I'll come see you soon.
We got to record this, right?
You said what?
We're gonna have to record this.
Oh, for sure. And we'll play it back on here, and then I'll put you all over on the social media stuff. We'll give you a nice shout out.
Oh, man. Well, we definitely gonna post that one. So we appreciate you coming on, man. James Lewis, founder, owner, YBass. You know where to find him. He gave you the IG, he got you the website. We appreciate you coming on to Concrete Reality TV. It's a pleasure. Hopefully we get you on again to discuss where you're at later on, and then also maybe to discuss some general topics as well.
Okay, that'll work for me.
All right, man. Well, thanks for showing up, and y'all have a good one. Make sure you like and subscribe at Concrete Reality TV. Peace.